Hey Void, how you doing? So, I decided to take a little bit of a break from just constantly watching just Friday or Shutter films, so grabbed a film or two from my own collection, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. How can you say no to it, huh? So, even though I had watched this one relatively recently, probably just like a couple months before I started this show, but now that's almost 2 years ago, Uh, I thought, why not? It's an easy film to put on, just veg out to. So, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's the premise. That's all. Pretty much the plot lines just right there. There are clowns. They came from space, and they are killer. And I first saw this movie back in high school, I think, and one of my friends was already swearing by it. This film has been a cult sensation for decades now. But at that point, I had heard of it, but never seen it. But I had heard of it. And, well, I watched it, and, yeah, I could see where the draw is. I didn't think it was anything crazy good, but I did enjoy it. But this one has had a weird nostalgic effect for me ever since then. Now, Killer Clowns came out in '88, and the effects are very good for that time. I will say the effects are definitely one of the reasons to check this movie out. For a very low budgeted movie, they definitely go all out on that. But after that, it took me 15 years to see it again. So, in that time, I had recalled this thing as being this really over the top gore fest. But when watching it again, I was surprised at how much it's not that gory. This movie's only rated PG-13, but in my head, it's like a hard R, and I keep forgetting that. I can't wrap my head around the fact that it's only PG-13. But they do a lot with that PG-13. It's an a late '80s PG-13, when it meant something. Now, Killer Clowns. So, well, I've already covered the plot. That was easy. And, but more in particular, two college kids, high school kids, college. I won't say no. I won't say college age, since one of them was dating a deputy. So probably college age kids are up at the top of the world. Their version of like a makeout point, and see a shooting star, and well, go looking for it and find a strange circus tent in the middle of the woods. Upon investigating, they discover this thing is filled with, well, strange devices until they come across cotton candy cocoons containing dead bodies of people they recognize. And then they're chased off by gun wielding clowns shooting popcorn at them. So, this movie it's a horror comedy. It's not meant to be taken seriously. And if you're just along for a campy '80s ride, you're gonna have a good time. Because yeah, the acting, it's over the top campy, but it's trying to be. It's the point. The acting is not meant to be that convincing. It's like the main two characters and perhaps like the sheriff ex-boyfriend are it for normal people. You have the old man out in the woods who's mugging to the camera. You've got then the sheriff or I don't know who outranks who, but Officer Mooney, and then Mooney, who's just so mean-spiritedly just ignoring everything that's going on and insulting everyone. You've got the Terezi brothers, who are just over the top, just trying to sell ice cream and get chicks. The characters are memorable in this, and it's largely from the way they act. They are over the top, and they're trying to be. The clowns themselves are acting silly. They act like clowns. Just their gags are rather murderous. Like, yeah, they are trying to collect bodies for, I guess, because they drink blood. And they seem to be using them maybe as like a possibly like a power source. They grab a lot of people. But at the same time, they're doing it in silly ways. Like, there's one guy's trying to lure, one comes in a kitchen. It's actually kind of a little chilling. He's trying to lure a little girl out of a fast food place. Who's going like this, but he's holding a mallet behind his back, cartoonishly. You got the little tiny clown rides up to the bikers on a tricycle, and then proceeds to get upset when they break his tricycle. But they're going through comedy routines. Why are they clowns? They never go into it. One person posits that maybe then they came here once before and we modeled clowns after them. But this movie, you can just turn your brain on autopilot. It's not something you need to think about. Why are the clowns here? They're here to collect, to get bodies. Where do they come from? Space. You don't need to know why they look like clowns. They just are. And some movies, that's a detriment. Some movies, it works for. This one, it really does work. You can just... Everyone in the film seems to realize how silly that is. Like, no one believes them because, yeah, they're saying clowns are attacking. Yeah. The effects are amazing. That said, as a campy joyride, you can only rate it so highly. Some of the characters can rub you the wrong way with their acting. The Trezzy brothers are a bit obnoxious. But overall, it's a fun experience. I can easily give this one 6 MacGuffins. I'm almost bumping it up just because it does have its own theme song and it is catchy as hell. But the movie itself, it's not trying to be anything other than just a simple fun time, and it succeeds at that. I mean, yeah, it could have been better, sure. I think if it had gone full R-rated, just went completely over the top, yeah, I would probably rate this one very highly. But just because it is a little more subdued, but it does kind of fit with the... I want to say it's like a comfort film almost, just because, yeah, it's terrible things are happening, but you don't really feel any too much tension other than just because it's just kind of goofy. But yeah, I'll give it a high 6 MacGuffins. I'd almost put it at 7, but it's not quite there. It's not a movie I will rewatch time and time again. I know there are a lot of people who love this movie, and I can see why. It is charming. But for me, it's just okay, but above average okay. So I would give it 6. It's a fun movie to talk about, that's for damn sure. Alright. Killer Klowns from Outer Space. If nothing else, listen to the theme song. It's catchy. Good 80s track. By the Dickies, I think? I could be wrong. Anyway. It's worth a look if you haven't seen it.